Hi Vicky, morning to you. Nice for you to come in to see us. Could you just possibly confirm your name and the position you've applied for, please?
Yes, my name is Vicky Avery and I'm applying for the position of Quality Control Coordinator at Riverford Organic Christian.
Bless you. And you're happy for us to send this recording through to Riverford today?
Definitely.
Lovely, thank you. The first question I really want to ask you is you as a person, but before I do that, what I'd like to know is what's your reasoning behind changing the job you're doing now as an operations manager to come in to be a quality control coordinator?
Okay, I returned from France about 6 months ago due to personal circumstances. I'm now single with my son. The most important thing to do when I got back from France was to maintain the status quo, purchase a property and those sort of things, and therefore my earnings were important. I found the job very interesting, but I was promoted very quickly. I've only been there 7 months, but within 2 months the company decided that they needed to put in another layer and they promoted me. And that took me away from people, food and the sorts of parts of the job that I enjoy. And now I'm an accounts manager to all degrees and purposes, and that isn't where I'm best suited. My love of food took me to France in the first place, but my general job descriptions in the past have involved much more food and people involvement, and that's why I need to change.
Okay, that's brilliant, because at the end of the day this job is based, although it's based around food, it's based around the passion for food as well. I mean, you said you were in France for, was it 4 years?
4 years, yeah.
Yeah, as a restaurant owner?
Yeah, I owned a restaurant with my then husband.
Okay, and obviously you grew all your own vegetables? And
we had a large house and grew vegetables there, but obviously you can shop in the market. There was a market that came to the village, so that was wonderful because you just, you go out and choose what you're going to have available to your customers, which was wonderful. And in France they are very passionate about local produce and things that are grown locally, and they love their things grown in France. So that was really key to be able to do that, and visiting those markets and doing those things was a great experience. But growing my own too, being able to have, the large garden there, and I had sheep and chickens, so it was really nice.
So how are you about managing people? Because obviously that's a big part of this job, to actually manage people.
Yes, I've run teams of people for a long time. My early career was with Sainsbury's, prior to that with hotels, and of course people and food and service are all of those things, whether you're working in the retail market or for the holiday market or wherever. And that I never wanted to do anything else. I trained at college when I was 16 and did 2 years there, and then it was always about the food and service. That's why catering appealed, because you've got direct contact with the people and the service. But my teams, managing the teams of people with Sainsbury's, I had a large team, and then obviously as I've gone on and been promoted, those jobs have involved running bigger teams and communicating more widely with both hierarchy, head office, suppliers, that sort of thing. So that's always been very key to every job I've had.
So you mentioned the communicating bit, so obviously you feel you're good at communicating with all levels?
I'd say so. I've never had anybody say that I'm not, so
perfect.
From my own perspective, that's why catering and food products and so on are so interesting, because it needs such a lot of communication.
And the fresh produce side, obviously you've got knowledge of that, of course, working with Sainsbury's.
Working for Sainsbury's, I worked for them for a long time, and my job roles changed while I was there. 10 years is quite a long time for Sainsbury's, and you do various things in those roles. There's plenty of reshuffles to cope with there. But while I was in my last position, I was also responsible for the food to go side of the business, so therefore I was a trainer for that, and that meant ensuring that the quality of the produce was really paramount in that particular department, because there was an element of them having to prepare that food, but also it was a very short shelf life, so therefore it needed to be maintained at a much higher level than the food that I dealt with prior in the restaurant.
So stock rotation is obviously, again, a good part.
Very key. Certainly for food to go, it was something that we were looking at quite key, as quite a major part of anybody's job role for that. And so I was responsible for training them to deal with that.
Okay. Going back to the person then, the person behind the job, the person behind the quality control coordinator. I mean, what would you see yourself, I mean obviously this is an ideal position for you.
Yes,
as
nice and local, and certainly from my perspective it involves all the things I love doing, and enjoy, you know, food and the growing of things and the seeing stuff coming in and out, and customers as well. So,
you love all
know,
that sort of thing.
For those sort of things, you know, that job looks to me like me.
Okay. Now obviously they've got all their own in-house computer systems.
Yeah.
You're happy obviously to be retrained on those?
Definitely. I mean, I use a laptop currently and use systems that are embedded, Excel and Word and so on. But I'd need training on whatever the system is, but I have experience of having to learn those things.
That's perfect. And just a little bit about you as well, I'd like to know. And then finally, what I'd like to know also is if you could tell Riverford why you think you're perfect for this job.
Okay. Me personally, I'm very warm and an open person, I believe. I believe in being totally honest about where you are and what you're at. Never felt the need to be anything else. I think I'm approachable, and I think I'm a team player. I like to be part of a team. I'm not a lone ranger. I'm someone who likes to be involved in what's going on. I think I'm perfect for this job because the job description explains a lot about, you know, being detailed, being passionate about the food, wanting your customers to be coming back. I've got a retail background, so I know a little bit about selling, and, you know, making sure that your boxes are better than anybody else's is key. But also from my perspective, the position says to me it's a family environment. It says to me that people here all feel that way, and I would like to be part of something like that. I'm not just someone going through the motions, and whilst I am a very passionate person in my job currently, the corporate environment doesn't allow you to be a bit of an individual, and I believe that this position and this company want people to bring their own things to the table, and that is what I'd like to do.
That's lovely, thank you, Vicky.